Alright, welcome back to our week 9 PPD1 pre-lab video. This week in lab we're going to be learning more about the verification process. And so with this diagram you can see where verification is happening. It's happening in a couple different places potentially. Depending on the pharmacy you're in, it may happen all kind of by the pharmacist at the end once everything's counted and filled, or it can happen kind of in split stages, the first being this initial time here, initially when the prescription's entered, and then kind of finally after the prescription's been counted out. So it can happen at different places. But what I want to focus on with you right now is what's happening in these verification processes. So in the initial verification, it's really checking the original prescription versus what was entered in the system. So we're kind of doing the triple check. So everything that that you would have done in the triple check or the post-fill audit that we've been doing in lab, where you're looking at what was on the label versus what's been entered in the system, and you're doing that. So but additionally what's happening at this stage is we're starting to look clinically at this prescription, the validity of the prescription. So clinically, what's going on? So so this is going to be important when looking at things like our we call them drug utilization reviews. Review here, and what's short here, we call this a DUR. Sorry for my handwriting. So our drug utilization review. So clinically, we're not just checking what was entered in the system and that the right medication was selected, but now we're starting to look at clinically drug utilization review. And so we'll talk more about what a drug utilization review is, but we're getting into those interactions. Is the medication appropriately dosed? All of those drug-related problems we're reviewing and all those things and thinking it through, and if there are things we need to follow up on, we're doing that with the patient. So this is kind of all happening in this initial verification, and then we have the final verification. And in the final verification, we're really looking at not so much the clinical side of things anymore, but was the right medication put in the bottle? So using the markings on the pill to make sure that that's the right pill, or that there's the right quantity, that the right label was put on that bottle, because for our final verification we are putting that in a bag and it's going to be hung up to go to the patient. So it's kind of our last opportunity to make sure that that is all good to go for the patient. So so those are kind of the two separate verification processes. It can be all done at one time, where it's kind of that's all goes together, like I said, after the medication's been counted out, or it happens in different steps, where first the initial verification will happen after the medication's inputted, and then once that's okay, then the medication's counted out, and then it's verified for a second time for the final verification. So just so you're familiar, it does vary by pharmacy, but we're going to dig into these a little bit more now. But this is the introduction, so there will be more videos. Please do watch them, because there will be some important information covered that will be applicable to the workflow handouts that you have in lab. Great, thank you.